Hey there guys, it's David from Script Wolves, and I'm here solo to do a little episode 8 season finale trailer breakdown because I think the plant thing is not a plant thing, it's an animal, and I think that's it walking on the walls, and so that freaked me out a little bit. And I figured since I was up late, I'd break this whole trailer down for you guys. I'll be recording with Miki tomorrow for our episode review video out later this week. But yeah, let's rip through the trailer real quick. So first, we see an imprisoned and beat up Morrow saying, "It feels good, doesn't it? Being more than human." And while he says this, we're being shown a picture of the imprisoned hybrids, who are certainly in the same kind of cell as Morrow, but it's unclear if Morrow is actually talking to the hybrids here or perhaps Kirsh, who I believe we saw interrogating Morrow alone in a similar cell in an earlier trailer. And it certainly could apply to either. The show is all about being more than human, transhumanism, humanoid aliens, cyborgs, etc., etc. I, for one, am always here for some Kumi Morrow philosophy, and we do have to look at that bruised eye and wonder, is this a one-eyed pirate Captain Hook thing coming? And by one-eyed, of course, I do mean the T-Ocellus. Is this going to be the next T-Ocellus victim? This would be the most powerful, physically powerful human he could take over, a cyborg, so it could make sense. In the next shot, we have the overhead of what looks like, I think this is a crater, and I don't know if this is on Treasure Island or the moon where they got these aliens. I have no idea what this is. Let me know in the comments if you have a guess. And then we see a quick shot of Arthur's body, which has been found, apparently. Although they did give him the Treasure Island Pirates Burial at Sea, they did not weigh him down with rocks. And I have to say, I'm a little bit nervous about further desecration of poor old Arthur, the one guy on the show who's consistently trying to do the right thing. Hashtag leave Arthur's body alone. Then we see a shot of Joe and Wendy, and the ever-widening rift between them is highlighted as Joe continues to try to dehumanize the monsters, by saying they're monsters, and also that we're all food to them. And of course, Wendy's like, no, you're food to them, not me. So again, the idea of personhood, humanity, what even is Wendy? That's all obviously going to come to a head next week. And we do see the alien dashing about the island in the back, causing mischief. And then there's another overhead shot. I don't know, again, if this is Treasure Island or some strange place. I don't see any green here, so this is kind of weird. Next, we see a shot of a distraught Dame Sylvia looking at a video recording of young Marcy from before she was stuck into a robot, kinda, sorta, maybe. Dame Sylvia obviously has a lot to be distraught and regretful about. She's done some pretty horrible stuff. And you can see that she is coming to grips with at least some of that, as she slams her futuristic iPad down in frustration. The recording of young Wendy is giving the signature horror movie, "We're gonna be all right, right? Right?" And as we hear that, we see Boy Cavalier in a hallway where I do believe he is about to confront a xenomorph. More on that in a moment. And then this is the scene that got me excited here at 1 a.m. or whatever it is to record this. Look at this thing climbing down the wall. I thought at first it was a xenomorph, but then I was like, no, that's not a xenomorph. It's some sort of huge starfish. And I'm like, wait, we don't have an alien like that. But no, it's the plant, which isn't a plant. It's fauna that presents as flora, as Kirsh said. And you'll notice they were feeding it meat through the slot earlier. And so now we see how it moves about. It just climbs on the walls like a giant, speedy starfish. It's going to jump on one of those guys and just swallow them and then slowly digest them, I guess. This is the one alien we had not really seen in action, so it's about time. And even though the security guy in the center does seem to hear it coming, I'm not giving him very good odds, frankly. That thing is huge. It's basically a cross between a giant starfish and a Snuggie come to life that wants to give you the permanent kind of hug. Then we see Shmi and Slightly, who are supposed to be grounded, so I'm not sure what they're doing walking around, and boy, does that mold problem look like it's getting worse. Ugh, it's nasty. Maybe they did jam the T-Ocellus in the mold sprayer, and there's nobody spraying the mold anymore. Then we get a really interesting shot of Kirsh turning around in the lab and rapidly firing his gun. That is a normal gun, note the orange fire, so it's not a stun gun, which means he's not shooting an android or the Fly. He's shooting a person here, or perhaps one of the other aliens. But I'm guessing it's a person, so yeah, are we about to see Kirsh break Asimov's law and harm a human being? It wouldn't surprise me. He's been showing a lot of individuality and also cattiness, so it's an open question what's going on with Kirsh and how much he is constricted by the normal android constrictions, assuming those exist in this world. So kind of can't wait to see who he's firing at here. Then we've got another shot of some alien fodder walking around in the jungle, and shout out to Heavy Spoilers who pointed out that these shots look a lot like the Lost Boys running around in the Peter Pan movie. Then we see an interesting scene with Cavalier watching everyone, and specifically watching Wendy, who appears to turn into the camera and look right back at Cavalier. And guess what? That's bad news if you're Cavalier. We've seen Wendy use her psychic powers through the computer screen multiple times. So Wendy may be about to reach through the camera there and turn off his connection or sabotage his computer or do God knows what. She seems to be the ultimate hacking weapon, and we see this potential danger highlighted with Wendy saying, we were afraid of them, but they should be afraid of us. We've got essentially a computer psychic android child who can live for 1,000,000 years and who, by the way, controls a burgeoning xenomorph army. So yeah, I'd be afraid of her for sure. And then here in this last clip, you can see that is Boy Cavalier on the left with the yellow sleeves, who was just bowled over by the xenomorph. But it doesn't look like he was ripped apart. And in fact, the xenomorph looks to be trying to escape from the hallway in this scene. You can see it doesn't appear to be leaping at either soldier, but rather leaping between them. This looks to be the newest xenomorph, by the way, the one that hatched last episode, not the brown-headed one that's out in the jungle. So we don't know if Wendy has a connection to this one and has control over it and maybe calling it in this scene. But she probably does because she seems to be serving the role of hive mother. In the alien drones, the males, they do seem to be joined to the alien queen mother via some sort of psychic network. So I'm guessing that Wendy is calling to the Xeno here and that it is either trying to infiltrate further into the building or escape from the building. So if you're new to the channel, do subscribe. We have Alien Earth videos coming out every week. Miki and I always try to bring you some deep theories or some analysis that we haven't seen elsewhere in the fandom. And we've got some cool stuff about Kirsh and the Tiacelis, of course, coming later this week. So again, make sure you're subscribed, watch for the video, and we'll see you next time.